Twin J Racing channel. We have the next set of basically photos. There's not much video, unfortunately, on the Cutlas project here, the 69 we're putting the floor in. We started off by basically taking it apart. We took everything apart, took the body up off the frame, which you'll see in the photos, and then we removed the floorboard, or the main floor, because we're doing a one-piece floor in this thing. And we found some more rust than we had anticipated on, and just we had to do a bunch more work, which I'll explain as the photos go through. But I wanted to apologize. I didn't really video a lot of it because I wasn't planning on having a channel, or I was, but I wasn't. That's neither here nor there. But there's a lot of information building to where we're going to be. I got a lot of videos that are going to come up as we're putting the floor back in and as we're putting it back together. But I also lost a lot of videos. My computer crashed shortly after I got a brand new computer, and the main board crashed. And I lost a bunch of footage. So I'm going to use what I have. Like I said, I apologize because I don't have a lot of video on a lot of the beginning parts of this. And even when I'm putting the floor in, a lot of the welding and this and that, and a lot of the fitting, we don't have all the videos. Like I said, the computer crashed. Main board, brand new laptop main board crashed, and they had to replace it. And, oh, we can save all your videos, and I didn't get nothing back. I've tried, but anyways, I'm rambling at this point. Please enjoy the video for what it's for, and please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you like it, don't like it, I don't know what I'm doing, please let me know. And like I said, enjoy, and stay tuned, I guess. Talk to you all later. Alright everyone, we're out here in the garage today working on this 69 Cutlas that I've already done a bunch of work to for a customer. 403 with big block heads on it. I didn't build the motor, I just finished it up with the oil pan, valve covers, intake. Got it running, got it in the car. Got fans, still needs some love. They were supposed to get a cover made for that, and just a lot of different things. A lot of work, put motor trans in, got it running, got it driving, got it cooling properly. In the process, we went to go put this as a 200 R4, which is a nice overdrive transmission, and runs great going down the road. But in the process of trying to put transmission in, we found the body bushings were bad, and couldn't get transmission up in the tunnel. It wouldn't fit. So we had to do the body bushings, which led to the reason why the car is back after all the work we put into it to make it run and drive. But we had to pull the interior apart because, of course, on a 69 Cutlas that's been in Indiana its whole life, the body bushings don't want to come apart. And you people who live in rust-free states, you're lucky. But we had to cut the floor open to get to the nuts and a few strategic locations. And I still have one more in the trunk to fix. I didn't fix it when I put the car together. But anyways, the reason why it's here is when we pulled the carpet up, we found out the main brace across here. Let me go over to the other side. I mean, there's a little rust on this side. There's some there, and it's not too bad on this side. But on this side, oh, sketchy at best. That you can see the main brace, and you can see how rotted it is through the floor. And the only thing I can figure is moisture, being it's a convertible, is sat on the carpet and just ate up the floorboards. And I mean, it's bad here. That brace is scary, and what's even scarier is that right there is your seatbelt mount. I'd hate to rely on that if, heaven forbid, something happens. And I mean, even here, that's your seatbelt mount. Your seat mounts, all that fun stuff that we got to make it work. And then, of course, I got to fix where the body bushing was, but even that was rotted. There's a small spot up there I still have to clean up into that corner and decide what we're going to do, what we're going to save, how much of it we're going to patch. We do have, you know, like I said, it's here. I got a cross member, I got floorboard, or the customer acquired it, and we got to figure out, because like there's your console mount. You know, if we do full floorboards, we're gonna have to remount and make the holes, and just a lot of things. If we do full floorboards, or if we just patch it, the customer's cool with whatever we do. But there's the cross member. We got a replacement cross member, and both floors are stacked up over here to use. So we got plenty of materials to use. We just have to make it all fit into here and fix the rust and make it a safe driver. And then as we put it back together, it's got new carpeting. He found some good used bucket seats we're going to put in here. I got to put the console back together. He's got the full console and everything to go in here. Just a laundry list of things. You know, you get a car running that's been sitting, and it's like, well, the fuel gauge don't work. So that's something I got to look at. The dash lights, like one works out of all of them. So we got to change the dash lights. I think the oil change. There's just a lot of things to do on this car. All right. Well, it's important to take measurements and then take pictures so you know what all your measurements are, because as you work, you're going to move stuff. I'm sorry I don't have any video of me working yet. I don't have a tripod yet, but we are working on some things, drilling spot welds, and just literally tore that up with a pry bar. That's how bad it is. So we're going to work at it here, and that's scary, being that that's the main cross member. So just something we're working on. All right, everyone, this is where we start separating the body from the frame, getting stuff, the bumpers off, getting the interior out, getting everything ready to be separated, and get it up to where we can start removing the floor. We have changed gears on the floor pan. We have went from putting the patches and the patch brace in to actually just replacing the floor with a full one piece, which you will see later. We start taking the floor out, and this is where we get it separated. Now here's the frame. We got the frame up. We found more damage around some of the body mount holes that have to be repaired, but we will get to that later on and get that all fixed up nicely. This here is where we start separating the floor from the body. We drill spot welds, we separate it. We try to do the best job we can to leave the metal not as damaged as it could be. As we're taking it apart, we find mouse nests inside the inner rockers. There, the floor is starting to come out. It's separating. It's going to be on the floor here in a few seconds. The floor is going to be on the floor. There's a pun in there. But as you can see, it's on the floor now. I ended up just cutting the front with a plasma cutter to make my life easier, and then I'll separate it later. And we have the whole floor here on the floor now, so I can take measurements and everything off of it as we go. It's separated. You can see where I plasma cutted the front edge there and the dash bar, and there's the bracing. You can see the clean. Tried to be as clean as possible on getting it apart. There's some drill marks, which I'm going to use for rosettes anyways, but that was the mouse nest. There's some holes in the inner rockers. There's some holes in the wheel tubs where you can see my hand there. You can see my skin through it. All stuff that we had to repair that we weren't intentionally planning on. You can see coming up here, there's another hole. It all has to be fixed. You can see the 1x1 tubing bracing I used in the car. I didn't take really good pictures of that. And then as Project Snowball, we decided to go ahead and we're going to sandblast the frame and clean and paint it while we have it apart, because, well, that only makes sense because of where we're at in this project. And if we're this far in, we might as well go ahead and do everything. So I pulled the motor, pulled the trans obviously together, started stripping down the front. Like I said, I have to repair the body bushing holes, but that'll come probably next video. But this brings us to where we need to start working on getting stuff ready. We're going to get it prepped to start repairing and getting it done. So, alright, we're going to move right on into installing the new floor and patching the front panel. You all enjoy. Alright, here we have the new complete floor pan that we got from Jegs to put into this project after it came off a back order. Here's the piece of sheet metal I bought to make the patches that we have to make to repair portions of the wheel houses, the inner rockers, just a bunch of stuff we found when we removed the floor that we didn't know was bad, that you can see we're going to start making custom pieces. There's my CAD, my cardboard aided design, to make the pieces like this one to fit into that area, to patch up the rocker panel and then the wheelhouse. And then as we keep moving forward, which we haven't seen yet, this is it welded in. We have the outer rockers, or not the outer, the inner rockers, where the cowl and everything all meets. That all had to be replated back in. It had a nice mouse nest in there, and mouse piss will actually cause metal damage, cause a lot of metal damage. And we ended up doing a lot more metal work to this car than we had originally planned on to get everything prepped and ready to put the floor in. We thought it was going to be simple, but nothing is ever simple when you're working on these old cars. Here's the mouse nest we were actually referring to, and there's one of the pieces that we cut out and put a new plate in, and actually ended up making sandwiches of metal to be able to put the floor and the inner rockers and everything in the way it needed to be done to make it all fit up nice. All right, I decided to do a video tonight. Pictures will show you that I made this patch today. That was all a hole. You can see on the other pictures. I welded it in, fixed it up. Nice new metal to weld the side of your floor to. That side there where that was all rotted and cut out, yeah, that's what welds right there. Same thing on the other side, but we're not over there yet. So, where we're at and what I've been doing is like this crack here, and the floor was bent from bending and removing. I still got all these spot welds to clean up. That's why I'm making a video rather than just doing a bunch of texting. A bunch of spot welds to clean up and reshape. Got to weld that back together. I had to reshape that. And like I said, little hammer and dolly work. Yeah, there's the dollies. There's a bunch of hammers, grinders, different grinders, welding hood, plastic bag for some random reason. You know, cutters, self-centering or self-punching center punch, you know, rusty ass floorboard, whatever. This side, we got a lot of work to do over here. We have to replace this floorboard because this is all rotted. That's why I quit taking it out. Yeah, that's part of your floorboard or that pin. I just double layered. I just plasma cutted everything out at that point. But we got a hole here, right at where. Now we're back into the front floor pan area, which was rotted out really bad, as you could see from the video there. And we had to cut it all out. And then we cut a portion off of, if you remember, we had full floor pans that we were going to use to replace on the other side, and we ended up not going with those. And I cut the front section off of the one on for the passenger side to make a patch out of, but it didn't fit worth a crap. As you can see here, it didn't fit at all. So what we ended up doing is taking the new floor pan, which actually worked out to be a good test fit. We put the full new floor pan in there, and I ended up cutting that patch completely apart and then welding it back together the best I could. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but the owners of the car were like, at some point in time, you're not building a show car. You know, you got to make it work, but decent, but not perfect, because it wasn't going back together the way I would have liked it to have gone back together. And I fought with it and fought with it and fought with it, and finally came up with a compromise that it fit. It's fairly well, fairly lined up with all the marks, and it fit the floor pan. So you compromise and you make yourself happy with it the best you can. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's their car and they're happy with it. I'm happy.